Hi, I wanted to make a short video to show you guys how to use the Blackboard classroom tools that you have available to you. The first thing I wanted to talk about is when the teacher releases the mic for you, you can grab that mic, this talk button, you can see the talk will be black, and you can scroll over and it will turn blue. You can just click on that talk button, and if you see the bar moving at the top and the blue microphone on it, then most likely everybody can hear you, and if they can't, then your teacher will let them know that. Also, if you do have a webcam, you can preview that webcam here, or click on video here to display the webcam to the class, but remember you have to click on the talk button as well, so we will see your face and hear your voice at the same time. And you can make sure you have your webcam connected by clicking on edit and going down to preferences. And going to camera settings. You can pull down the camera that you have, and you will be able to see all of that. Just click on the camera, click apply, and make sure you can go to preview and see your face up there. Another thing you might use a lot are these tools. Of course, you have your emoticons right here, your smiley face. Your teacher might ask you for some applause for your classmates or a thumbs up. This is the away button, and you really won't need that because we're all participating and active in class all the time. This is your raise your hand button. This number means that I was the first person to raise my hand. Your teacher will let you know when she wants you or he wants you to raise your hand. So don't use this button unless your teacher specifically tells you to raise your hand. Sometimes they will have it set where your hand will raise automatically when you come into the classroom. And if that's the case, just leave everything alone because your teacher probably has some plans for that. Another thing is this button right here. This is your polling tools. Your polling tools might have the green check, the red X if your teacher's wanting you to answer yes or no questions, or make sure you have done something. If they're asking you to go to a website, they might say, give me a green check when you're at the website or when you've watched the video. So you might have a green check or a red X here. Your teacher could also change the polling tools, especially if you're answering like multiple choice questions. And then this button will turn, you'll see an A pop up there, and then you can hover over it and it will drop down and you can choose the answer choice. Your teacher will be able to see these in the panel, and they can see which students have answered correctly and which students need a little bit extra help. Your teacher might also use these if she's asking or he is asking for certain answers to questions to put you in groups and breakout rooms. So make sure you know how to use those polling tools. That is so super important. The chat box, if your teacher opens the chat box, you will see this symbol won't have the X on it anymore, and your room tab will pop up. That is where you need to chat for everybody in the room to see it. If they ask for you to put an answer or a sentence in the chat box, make sure it goes in the room tab. If you send it just to the moderator, then your teacher is going to be the only one to see that tab. So the big thing I wanted to talk about was all the stuff on the toolbar. Your teacher will give you tools if you go to breakout rooms. Sometimes they'll want you to participate on the whiteboard in the class. It's super important if you're participating in class on the whiteboard or you're working with partners that you don't erase anybody's work, and that can sometimes be easy to do and you don't even know it. This little select tool is how you would select something and erase it, and I'll show you that in a second after we get some stuff on the board. This is our pointer tool. You've probably seen this a lot in class. You could do all of these different pointers. I like the hand the most. Another one is the line tool. So you can draw a line. You can change the color of the line down here. So I can change it to blue. You can also have, this button also has a highlighter tool. So this is the draw highlighter. The default is yellow. You can change that color as well. Maybe some aqua. So you can change that if you need to highlight a sentence in the passage you're working on, or anything like that. That's how you change that. You can also change the thickness of the stroke here as well. So you can create a thicker stroke just by changing the size of the stroke. This is your typing tool, super important if you're correcting sentences or your teacher wants you to type something on the board. Often if you're using the drawing tool and you're trying to write with that drawing tool, it is so, I mean, you can see how hard it is just to draw a line. It is so super hard to write with that tool. So this will allow you to write paragraphs, and then just the A will just let you write lines. You can change the color of your font. If you're working with partners in a breakout room, you want different colors, you can do that. This is your shape drawing, so you can draw filled in circles, and you can draw filled in squares or rectangles. With this, it's just outlines of shapes, so you can circle something in the passage or circle an answer. Then you can also draw a box around like a verb or something like that. This is your line tool. So if you have to underline something, it's much easier to use this line tool. Okay. And then down here are the pictures. These are nice if you're working in a breakout room. You're using some pictures. If you're working on some math problems and you need some symbols for math, you can use math operations. Or the common symbols really has everything you possibly need. Scroll all the way over to the end to see all that is there for you guys. And let's see, another thing I wanted to show you guys was this pointer tool. If you need to erase something, this is your select tool. It has the arrow, so you will click on that and you can erase things. Just highlight it and erase. So sometimes it's easy to do that and you don't even know that you've maybe erased some of your friend's work. So be very careful with that select tool. If you happen to be in a breakout room with a group or by yourself, you will see these arrows come up in that breakout room most of the time. There's usually more than one page in the breakout room because every time a breakout room is created, a page is there for it, and then your teacher will add another page so you can work on something in the breakout room. So knowing to use these arrows to move to the different slides in the breakout room will be very, very helpful for you guys. And then one last thing I wanted to show you was the application share. That button is up here. When your teacher gives you application share privileges, this is the button you will click on. And that will allow you to share your computer screen. You can share specific programs you're working on, or sharing your desktop is most likely what you will do. If you need some help with something, a test or some kind of program that's not working correctly for you, your teacher can have you application share and request control of your cursor, and they will be able to go in there and help you figure out what exactly is going on and get you back on track with anything you might need. Or you might want to share a project. If you're sharing projects or stories or something like that, application share might be what they ask you to do. So knowing how to get to that application share button is super important. And that's really about it. You guys know kind of how to navigate those tools and use the tools for you guys. One other thing I did want to share is if your teacher sends something through file share and you don't get the notification or you don't click on it fast enough, you can go up to Window, go down to Show File Share Library. You can see I don't have anything there right now, but if you did, you could just click on it and download that file share from there. All right, guys, I hope you found this helpful. If you have any further questions, please ask your teacher. They will be able to help you figure out how to use Blackboard yourself, and we just love it when we have all of our students participating and active in class. It makes for such an enriching experience for everybody in the room. So I hope you guys will use some of these tips in class next week. Bye.